الرحيم. عبد الرحمن وليد.
Yes, miss.
Where do you go حبيبي? Why don't you participate in the session وليد? يعني يعني you joined and left. I didn't find your name. You don't raise your hand. You don't
لا
answer.
مستر، أنا الحصة اللي فاتت كنت حضرها كلها.
طيب وليد, why don't you answer? Why don't you put your hand up? You lose marks for this. You lost marks for this in the third term. You are an excellent student, I know. Why are you lazy, Walid? Be more active, please, Abdurrahman, please.
Okay.
Rahim. This is Rahim. Haya. Haya. Fenuz. Lion. Jana Osman. Mariam. Martina. Hala. Muhammad Adil. Usama. Ryan. Tadros. Sorry guys, I'm just Yahya Awad, Yahya Yasin, Yusuf Awad. Okay, Yahya, Yasin, Yusuf Awad. Okay, Kiara, Lion, can you hear me, Lion? Lion, good morning. Lion disappears again. Lion. So what's wrong with Lion, guys? She joined and then left in both sessions. I'm not sure why. So I have 20 students now. Yusuf Awad, can you hear me? Yusuf?
Yes.
I checked Pixton, you haven't joined Yusuf.
I joined from the website itself.
No, join
because the link that's on the group is not working on my laptop.
So you need to join the class because, okay, if you can make the comic strips on the site and then...
Yes, I already joined, but solo without a class.
Okay, try to join the class if you can, because it's easy for me to find all your works in one place. If you can, yeah, if you can do it, do the comics or the comic strip and send it to me, no problem. But I want you to join the, yeah, see what your friends did and join the class, please. It's easier for me to find, again, all your works in one place. So let me share the, so again, Lion is not here. You can ask Ali Easy to join if he likes to join at the beginning of this session. Okay, I'll go back to our grammar lesson. Commas with series and adjectives, like independent clauses, items in a series, and certain kinds of adjectives should be separated by commas. A series consists of 3 or more words, phrases, or subordinate clauses of a similar kind. A series can occur in any part of a sentence, the beginning, the middle, the end. Use commas to separate 3 or more words, phrases, or clauses in a series. We have an example here. For words, the subway car was crowded, noisy, and fast. So we need 2 commas here because we have 3 words: crowded, noisy, and fast. Another example, I like to put ham, pepperoni, turkey, and cheese. We have 4 items here for words. Phrases, we explored the city by bus, by train, and by car. Clauses, the survey revealed that many New Yorkers were satisfied with the mayor, that they supported the new laws, and that they wanted the fiscal policy to continue. You know, fiscal is something related to money. Fiscal year is financial year. Jana Garaifi. Jana Garaifi, good morning. Jana Garaifi. Jana Walid, can you hear me? Jana. She disappeared again. No, she's here. Jana Walid. Okay, something in the chat. Okay, Jana, try to fix it, please. Try to fix it, no problem. Sorry. Type, her mic is not working. Okay. Okay, Jana, no problem. No problem. As you may know, in a variant style for using commas in a series, the last comma before the conjunction is dropped. You are likely to find the full use of commas easier to follow. However, this is especially true when the omission of the final comma leads to confusion. Let's look at the example here. The crowds, the aromas from the hot dog carts, and the talkative taxi drivers made the trip memorable. This is confusing. The crowds, we have the comma here, and the aromas from the hot dog carts, other comma. So we need another comma before the conjunction and to make it clearer. When conjunctions are used to separate all of the items in a series, no commas are needed. For example, we wanted to watch the game and eat hot dogs and then see the fires. We have the same subject. Again, when conjunctions are used to separate all of the items in a series, no commas are needed. Do not use commas between items that are paired so often, like, for example, black and white, fish and rice, or something like that, or fish and fries, sorry, so often that they are thought of as one item. In the following example, peanut butter and jelly are considered a single item or one thing. We ate grilled cheese sandwiches, bologna sandwiches, and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. These peanut butter and jelly are considered one thing. Adjectives, when 2 or more adjectives precede a noun, they sometimes will need to be separated with commas. Walid is a tall, thin boy, for example. So we need a comma between tall and thin. Use commas to separate adjectives of equal rank. Use commas to separate adjectives of equal rank. Adjectives are equal in rank if you can insert the word and between them without, if you can insert the word and, between them without changing the meaning of the sentence. Another way to determine whether adjectives are of equal rank is to, and I said Abdurrahman is tall, thin, tall, it doesn't make a difference, is to reverse the order in which they appear. If the sentence still sounds correct, the adjectives are of equal rank. Adjectives of equal rank are called coordinate adjectives. Like the example here, a tall, majestic building rose above the skyline. The bright, bold sign was posted above the door. The adjective bold can be put first and then bright can be put later. So it's okay to use a comma here. If you cannot place the word and between the adjectives or reverse their order without changing the meaning of the sentence, do not use commas between them. Adjectives that must remain in a specific order are called cumulative adjectives or cumulative adjectives. Do not use commas to separate adjectives that must stay in a specific order. Again, if you must keep the order of the adjectives, do not insert any commas. If you can, change the order of the adjectives so you can insert commas between them. The second oldest building in the city was renovated. The long ticket line, here we have the word line, here we have the long ticket adjectives, is moving faster than the shorter reservation line. We have an exercise here, supplying commas to separate items in a series. Copy each of the following sentences, inserting commas to separate items as needed. Look at the example. Buses, cars, and trucks crowded the city streets. So this is a series of words. Buses, comma, cars, comma, and trucks crowded the city streets. Who can do number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Quickly, guys. I need at least 5 raised hands. Take a minute and be active, please. Abdurrahman Walid, are you still here?
Yes.
Okay. You'll do number 1.
After comma after do.
This is which exercise?
Exercise 12, I think.
12, okay. So we need a comma after do, things to do. Is that
and after see?
much to see? Thank you. Is that all? Yes. So Abdurrahman said we need a comma after do. New York City is an enormous place with many things to do. We need a comma here. Much to see. We need another comma here. Thank you, Walid. Yusuf Sahrawi is raising his hand. Do you want to do number 2, Yusuf?
Yes, Mr.
Okay, go ahead.
After Manhattan.
After Manhattan.
And after the Bronx. After the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn.
Yes, perfect. We need 4 commas. After Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, and Brooklyn. Thank you, Yusuf. So I'll write your name here. Okay. Who else, guys? We have 2 raised hands. I can see them all. 2 raised hands. Whose are they? Okay, Ryan. Ryan, do number.
After Empire State Building.
After the word building.
And after the Chrysler Building.
Yes, the other word. We have 2 commas after the word building. Building and building. Thank you, Ryan. This is Mr. Ryan. Okay. Who else, guys? Type. We have. Put your hand down, Sahrawi. Mariam's hand. Mariam. Do number 4.
Comma after state building.
Yes, a comma after building. And any other commas?
And after deck.
And after observation deck. Thank you, Mariam. This is Mariam. Who else? Who need one other guy? We need another guy to answer number 5. I'll go to Mr. Yassin. Yassin, can you do 5? Yassin, can you hear me?
Number 5.
Yes, do we need any commas here? If so, where?
No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't.
We have a list of names. Yahya Awad, can you do it? Yahya Awad?
Can I answer?
Yasin, Yahya, can you hear me? Okay, Yasin, I'm not sure whether Yahya can hear me or not. Okay, Yasin, go ahead. Yasin.
After Munich.
Okay, these are French names.
Monet. After Monet.
What about Gauguin?
It's two names. ماشي. After Gauguin.
Yeah,
And Monet.
famous French names. Gauguin, Monet, Van Gogh.
It's optional.
And Cézanne, or I'm not sure how to pronounce it. So we need 4 commas. A comma after Gauguin, Monet, Van Gogh. 3 commas, sorry. After Gauguin, we need 1. After Monet and after Gogh, we need the last one. Thank you, Yassine. Okay, let's move on to the next part. Commas after introductory material. Commas after introductory material. Most introductory material is set off with a comma. Use a comma after an introductory word like unfortunately, fortunately, and so on. Phrase or a clause. As a matter of fact, and so on. Put commas after these expressions. Study the following examples to see what types of introductory material should be set off with commas. Introductory words like will, yes, oh, and so on. Introductory adverbs like certainly, as I said, fortunately, unfortunately, frantically, and so on. Prepositional phrases like at the very top, in the heart of the city, and so on. Participial phrases like walking slowly, written carefully, and so on. Infinitive phrases to get to the train before it left, to get to Broadway, to get a good mark at the test, you need to do such and such. Adverb clauses, when the team got off the plane, what happened? We put a comma and complete. If there is a pause, if you intend to travel to New York this summer, so we need commas after all these expressions. It is not absolutely necessary to set off short prepositional phrases. However, you may find that a comma is needed with a 2 or 3 word phrase in order to avoid confusion. At Times Square, we met our friends. At times, this is clear. Inside the house, walls began to crumble. Inside the house walls, this is confusing. We need to separate the word house. Inside the house from inside the house, walls began to crumble. This is clearer. Okay, we have another exercise. Using commas after introductory material, copy the sentences and inserting the comma where it is needed. If a sentence does not require a comma, write correct. Chris, have you visited Grand Central Station yet? Of course, it's clear that after the word Chris, we need a comma. Like Yusuf, are you still here? And so on. Number 1, who can do it? Insert a comma where it is needed. If the sentence is correct, write correct. Number 1. We can do the first 3 sentences only. This is exercise 13, I think. Yeah, 15. Exercise 15. Who's ready to do number 1? No raised hands. There is one here. Okay. This is Mariam's. Okay, Mariam, go ahead, do number 1. Any commas needed here?
No.
Are you sure? We need 1. I'll help you. We need 1 comma, but where to put it? After
I don't know. I forgot to lower my hand from the last question.
no problem. Okay. Born in December 1882. After 82, we need another comma. Mariam, okay? Born
Yes,
in
okay.
1882, comma, Fiorella or Fiorello, La Guardia, would, da, da, da. Okay, so we need a comma here after 1882. Number 2. Number 2. Does number 2 need a comma, guys? Commas? If so, where? Put your hands up, please. I'll go to Knuz. Knuz, please answer. Number 2. Knuz.
Yes, Mister.
Be more active, please, Knuz. If you need the marks, be more active and put your hand there. Can you do number 2? Do we need any commas?
Okay. The son of it. More commas?
Do we need any commas?
I didn't hear the question.
Do we need any commas here? Comma, comma. Does this sentence need any commas? If so, where? If it's correct, say correct.
Correct.
Okay, I need another guy. It's not correct. We need a comma, just 1 comma, but where? Walid, can you do it? Abdurrahman Walid. Number 2.
Yes, Mister.
Can you do number 2? Do we need any commas in number 2?
Yes.
Where?
After man.
After man, perfect. After man, the son of a military man or military man, comma, La Guardia was, da da da. Thank you. Number 3. Number 3, guys, who can do it? Do we need any commas? Do we need any commas? Ganna Tamer, I hope you're here now. Ganna Tamer. Ganna. Ganna. GT. Ganna Tamer. طيب. Muhammad Adil. Muhammad. Number 3. Do we need any commas?
After army.
After army, thank you. Yes, we need 1 comma after the word army. Okay, Muhammad, thank you. Okay, let's move on to the next part. And I'll put something in front of your name, Muhammad. Muhammad, why were you absent in the first session? Adil, where is Adil? Adil was here. You're absent very often, Muhammad. ده بيأثر على البارتيسيبيشن بتاعتك والاتندنس. يعني الاتندنس على 5 marks والبارتيسيبيشن في المشاركه وانك ترفع ايدك زي الوقت كده على 5 marks. اما اجي احط في الاخر اديك ايه يا محمد؟ Please attend the sessions and be more active. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much. طيب. Commas with parenthetical and non-essential expressions. Commas are also used to set off. Set off, means separate. To set off 2 types of expressions that often fall in the middle or at the end of a sentence. Like here, parenthetical expressions consist of 1 or more words that, in a sense, interrupt the flow of a sentence. Such expressions are set off by 1 or more commas to make it easier to understand the sentence, regardless of where they occur in a sentence. Okay? Use commas to set off parenthetical expressions. Below are some common types of parenthetical expressions. Notice that a parenthetical expression may fall in the middle or at the end of a sentence. Notice also that each sentence is complete without the parenthetical expression. which means we can delete it, we can do without it. Nouns of direct address, please Ben, if we have a noun of direct address, when I say, please Muhammad, please Ali, please Hala, and so on, could you help me? So the word Ben, the word Muhammad, the word Ali, the word Hala should be set off using commas. I'll do it right away, mother. When it comes at the end of the sentence, you need just one comma before it, mother. Okay, conjunctive adverbs, like in addition, therefore, furthermore, and so on. The tennis match, therefore, was held after the rain shower. They did their best, however. Again, when the conjunction or conjunctive adverb comes at the beginning, we put the comma after it. At the end, we put the comma before it. In the middle, we need 2 commas to set it off. Common expressions, I'm explaining his theory. I believe, an expression like I believe must be set off with 2 commas. Contrasting expressions, we took the subway, not the bus. Not the bus should be set off 2 commas. New York City, not Chicago. Muhammad Adil, not Yusuf al-Sihrawi, and so on. Essential and non-essential expressions, depending on their importance in a sentence, appositives, participial phrases, and adjective clauses can be either essential or non-essential. The terms restrictive or non-restrictive may be used. Instead of essential, we can say restrictive. Instead of non-essential, we can use non-restrictive. An essential phrase or clause is necessary to the meaning of the sentence. It helps to describe or identify the person or object the sentence is about. We'll see some examples here. Do not use commas to set off essential expressions. Essential expressions, like the examples here, if the expression is essential, do not use commas. If it is non-essential or not essential or non-restrictive, you need commas. The part was played by the famous actor Henry Fonda. This Henry Fonda is important because if I say by the famous actor, we have too many famous actors. So the information here is essential. The man wearing the white cap is my uncle. Can I say the man is my uncle? Which man? So wearing the white cap is essential. Essential adjective clause, the paragraph that we propose to add changes the entire bill. Can we say the paragraph changes the entire bill? Which paragraph? So we need the adjective clause that we propose to add. The preceding examples illustrate 3 kinds and we explain them. Use commas to set off non-essential expressions. If the expressions or the information we have is non-essential or not essential, we need comma. The part was played by Henry Fonda, the famous actor. The famous actor is not essential because we all know Henry Fonda because he is a famous actor. The graceful bridge built in the 1800s spans a lake in Central Park. So this piece of information is not important, is not essential. The lake, which sometimes freezes in winter, is lovely for summer boating because we are talking about a specific lake. And we explained it. Using commas to set off parenthetical expressions. This is exercise 16. You have exercise 16. Take your time. The question is, insert commas to set off parenthetical expressions if it is necessary. For example, here, his reasoning, therefore, was faulty. You know that therefore needs 2 commas before and after. Look at number 1, 2, and 3. Still have about 9 minutes. 1, 2, and 3, and be active, please, and put your hands up. 1, 2, and 3. Who can do number 1? I have no raised hands. Guys, put your hands up to answer number 1, 2, and 3. I have one hand now. Yusuf Awad. Huh? Who else? Type. Yusuf will do number 1. Yusuf?
We will put a comma before and after, in my opinion.
Perfect. In my opinion, here, we need a comma before and after this expression. In my opinion. In my opinion. Thank you, Yusuf. I think I have another raised hand. Tadris. Go ahead, Tadris. So Yusuf and Tadris. Okay.
Burr was a Republican, comma, not a federalist like Hamilton.
Okay. We need just one comma because the expression comes at the end of the sentence, right, Tadris?
Yes.
So
Yes, sir.
before not, we need one comma. Thank you, Tadris. Number 3, another hand, please. Put your hand down, Tadris. Another hand, please. Mariam, Muhammad, Osama. Osama Darwish, can you hear me? Osama. Okay. Yahya Awad, if you can hear me, do number 3, please. Yahya. Yahya Awad. Yahya Awad. Ryan. Ryan, are you there?
Yes, Mr.
Okay, can you do 3? Do we need commas here? If so, where?
Before and after, in fact.
Before and after, in fact. Thank you, Ryan. Why are you silent? Yes, thank you, Ryan. Okay, let's move on to exercise or the, not exercise, sorry, the next part. The next part, other uses of the comma. Other uses of the comma, many other situations also require the use of commas. With geographical names, geographical names are often made up of several parts. When a geographical name is made up of 2 or more parts, use a comma after each item. My uncle in New York is a lawyer. New York, the first New York is New York City, NYC. And the second New York is the state. So he lives in New York, New York. He lives in Albany, New York. He lives in Buffalo, New York, and so on. So the first New York is the city, NYC, and the second New York is the state. We traveled to Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. You know that Niagara Falls are in the territory or the state of Ontario, and this is the Canada, in Canada, by car. Dates, we use commas with dates. Commas are also used with dates made up of several parts, such as month, day, and year. Let's see how. When a date is made up of 2 or more parts, use a comma after each item, except in the case of a month followed by a day, the American way, as you know. Thursday, day, September 26th, is my birthday. So we need a comma after Thursday and after 26th. I saw a Broadway play on October 6th, 2000. On April 8th, 1999, my brother was born. If we have the month first, don't put a comma after the month. If we have the month first, don't put a comma after the month. If dates contain only months and years, commas are not necessary. November 1989, we don't need a comma here. Titles after a name. Some titles require commas, like here. When a name is followed by 1 or more titles, use a comma after the name and after each title. Teresa Kelly, comma, MD, comma, is my doctor. John Rowe, comma, SR, surgeon, comma, PhD, comma, lectured on. Did Prentice Hall, comma, incorporation, comma, published this book, and so on. Addresses. Commas are used to separate the items in addresses. Use a comma after each item in an address made up of 2 or more parts. We send the package to Emma Chandy, 1237 Auckland Parkway, Anytown, New York, da da da. Okay, so we have after the name of the person and the number of the street, maybe, Anytown, the name of the town. Then in the preceding example, commas are placed after the name, street, and city. Do not use a comma between the state and the zip code. In an address, in a letter, or on an envelope, a comma between the city and the state only is needed. Emma Chandy, because we write it as a list, so we need a comma between the city and the state. Anytown, New York. Anytown, this is the name. Anytown, New York. Salutations and closings and letters. Commas are used after Dear Ali, comma. Best wishes at the end of the letter, comma, and so on. Dear Jimmy, dear Aunt Harriet, my dear friend, we need commas. And closings, your friend, best wishes, sincerely, faithfully, yours truly, love, and so on. Large numbers, commas make large numbers easier to read. And you know this really well. Look at the examples here. 186,000, we put a comma. 2,000, 3 million and thousands, and then do not, however, use commas and zip codes, telephone numbers, page numbers, serial numbers, years, or house numbers, like the examples here. Let's move on to the next part. Elliptical sentences. In an elliptical sentence, even though words are left out, elliptical means sentences which we can delete or in which we can delete or leave out a specific part of it, the meaning is clearly understood. Inserting a comma in an elliptical sentence makes it easier to read. Like the example here, Tom read the paper quickly, Rachel more slowly. Rachel more slowly. Even though the words read the paper have been omitted here from the second clause in the preceding elliptical sentence, the meaning is not lost. The comma inserted in place of the missing words helps to make the meaning clear. Okay, Rachel, here we have a comma, and instead of repeating the words, read the paper. Tom read the paper quickly. Rachel read the paper more quickly. Instead of repeating read the paper, we put a comma. For clarity, you may also need to use a comma to prevent readers from misunderstanding a sentence. Use a comma to prevent a sentence from being misunderstood. This is an unclear sentence. For New York police, horses have been a mode of transportation. For New York police, you know, we need a comma here. This is why I paused in the first sentence, horses. Learn the rules about the use of commas and apply them in your writing. Take care not to use commas where none are required. You need this if you do SAT or ACT or whatever, or EST essays. Hi, Ali. Ali. Yeah, Ali. Mr. Ali. Yeah, Mr. Ali. Type. I'll stop here, guys. So we stop.